guys, welcome back to my channel. And for today's perspective check, I want to talk a little bit today about addiction. This is something very personal to me. I've had many people that I love dearly who dealt with addiction. I personally have dealt with addiction in my younger years. And people who have that addictive gene, they are very obsessive, right? We know this. But having this addictive personality does not have to be a bad thing. Change your perspective on it. Years ago, I was handling a transaction for a gentleman who had a business, and I believe it was called Creative Thinking, if I remember it correctly. And the gentleman began telling me that he worked with recovering addicts. And so I was like, oh, it's a rehab home, right? And he's like, no. What we do is we take them after they get out of the rehab home and we teach them how to use that addictive gene in a productive way, in a way that can bring positivity to their life, that where it can be an asset. Addicts are very tenacious. Addicts are very goal driven. There is a lot of things about that personality type. And any of you who have dealt with it in the past, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was just blown away by that thought because I realized in that moment that that's exactly what I did when I was younger. I shifted my perspective and I used my obsessive behavior for good. I used it in my career. I used it most recently in 2021. I became a grandma. So I got to do what grandmas do. And what do grandmas do? Grandmas quilt. So I started teaching myself how to quilt. And I'll tell you what, I've done over 100 quilts, and it's only been like, 3 years? So when I say I have an obsessive personality, I am not underestimating. I have one gear. It's over the top. I can't do anything in half measures. So, and that all comes from my addictive personality. So if any of my friends out there are struggling with this, it is a real thing. Um, and I'll back you up on that. I know people who don't have it, they don't realize how powerful this emotion is. But like I said, guys, if we can shift it and use that determination and use that hyper focus instead of using it to get drugs or to do drugs or to indulge in any kind of addiction, shift your focus, shift your perspective, and use it for good. There is so many things in this life that an addictive gene would give you such a leg up, but it all has to do with how you look at it. You have to accept it, that yes, I have this tendency, I have this type of personality, and I can't just have one. If that's you, friend, don't be discouraged, because it is something you cannot cure. It is something you will have for the rest of your life. Once an addict, always an addict. But using it as your superpower, that's a new perspective. So leave your comments below as always. I love to hear your point of view, what you may be going through personally. Just hang in there, guys. You can do this. Addiction hits home really hard to a lot of us. And we got to stick together, because together we're stronger. Separate, we're weak. Can't do it. So leave your comments. See you next week and have an amazing night. Bye, guys.